Lama Rim ye je dang zu ge zhu na lai jiang chu huan du nan de ge su jie da ge jun ye ge be cong nang ge zhu la ben jie sang ge zhu ba zhu ye dang zu ge zhu na lai jiang chu huan du nan de ge su jie da ge jun ye ge be cong nang ge zhu la ben jie sang ge zhu ba zhu 这当作给中南来讲究巴都当地教组织，大概全年级别中南给罗拉本经上给主巴修，啥些那个就是那种长，别让那些你的跟巴的，当个新都面对巴也这个南当新拉这巴修，一当不如让他们到了干的要到呀。
이런 게 제기된 수사 대화 뭐지? 동안 이제 시계가 이제 다 세일이 많은 지금 좀 맞아다 마마 싶어 진짜 마시 봐. 저는 진짜 좀 만드는 대화 대자 마음 뭐지는 그게 봐 힘고 이니까 이지적 문제 진짜 좀 만드는 대화다 대인적 대화 무슨 소리가 되는 정말 대화 주지 대화 답이 좀 내시는 말만 신경 써. 그래서 하고 있는
Please adjust your sitting posture according to 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. And think, all sentient beings have been my mothers. And all sentient beings have been my mothers, not just once, but for numberless times. They are as kind as my mothers in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering. However, due to engaging wrongly in objects of adoptions and abandonment, they do not experience even a moment of happiness, but suffering. In our minds, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings were to have happiness and the causes of happiness, that is virtue. May all kind mother sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to have happiness and the causes of happiness. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
И здесь важно, конечно, подумать. Не надо думать, не баловаться, ничего не делать. Как это можно? Вот, теперь то, что обещал, ты дальше не помогал, и сидим на диване, ничего не делать.
Next, we generate compassion towards all suffering mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice it would be if the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from the class discordant with a conflicting virtue, such as physical pain, suffering, sickness, and problem caused by four elements. May all suffering mother sentient beings be free from May the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from the class discordant with a conflicting virtue. I will free the bodies of all suffering mother sentient beings from the class discordant with a conflicting virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
也就是我现在这些完全的去一起去这边东北的，能够查到的话，他那个真的这么，我直接找到为什么那些我们那心中的东西，不是那么清楚的。
How nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mothers and sentient beings were free from the class discordant with conflicting virtue, such as mental suffering, fear, and coarse and subtle discursive thoughts. May the minds of all suffering mothers and sentient beings be free from the class discordant with a conflicting virtue. O free the minds of all suffering mothers and sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
就是另外那已经有蛮多东西，我好比这个是我今年把查到，他那个真的这么，我直接找我大学时候给他写的，那么很清楚的东西，不是不是关系。
How nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mothers and sentient beings were free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as telling lies and all coarse and subtle negative speech. May the speech of all suffering mothers and sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. O free the speech of all suffering mothers and sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
第就是另外呢，就是蛮多东西，我是这给小，你给叫他那个他们这么，直接找大学时候那些他们心里不是不是那么清楚。
How nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mothers and sentient beings were free from the class discordant with a conflicting virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mothers and sentient beings be free from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the three doors of all suffering mothers and sentient beings from the class discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
这就是另外的呢，就是什么，我东北的东北去叫，我的真的这么，我直接找我大学时候这个心里他们那心里不是那个真的关系。
How nice it would be if all mother sentient beings were free from suffering and the causes of suffering. There is non-virtue. May all mother sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will free all mother sentient beings from suffering and the causes of suffering. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
这就是另外的呢，就是蛮多呢，好的呢是另外的对，是那个公司呢，你让我。你让他或者特别的话是要找我这里上级去公方的这个方面，也特别如果是那样，你让他们上级呢有的，那是的，长期这个上级去公方的东西，对那个头发想，那个是强制性，不是不是那个情况。
Next, we generate bodhicitta. First, we ask ourselves, who should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms? I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms. Even though I should take on the responsibility, but I do not have the ability to do so. Who has the abilities? Only those who have achieved the perfectly complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment.
也许是这团体这个上去恐怕到个小，生活做不的呢，我们比那个大一就我是不能把进去，学堂学堂，你怎么这个恐怕你那个是就这个电脑的球，你现在那个那个大一点，我就搞不，这个没能把进去，就是不是没法进去，不然他的那就不是这样子。
Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The aspiring conventional bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a perfect mundis at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming one taste with emptiness, the lack of inherent existence. These transform into a white five-pronged vajra on top of the mundis.
就是到我的容易的记得他的可能要把这个容易这个东西也才会动到你的具体做。
Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while. That I exists neither intrinsically one with, nor intrinsically different from the aggregates. Thus, I am empty of inherent existence.
这时候呢，我是都会听到我信，我是这个在个历史上面呢，就是核心里面的新闻的话，那就是说，那到后方的，故意是的，因为我是不能信，那我去这个也上不是，结果的，天天看几个给找的，你手机电话就是没得在地区的，你啥个东西也不就就多呢？那第一个呢，上不是几个给在的，几个开心让你心里面。
As I always mention, it is important to conjoin whatever roots of virtue that we do through our three doors with the practice of six perfections. And it also makes the roots of virtue become more powerful by doing so. So in order to do that, the first practice is the practice of generosity. The nature of generosity is an intention of giving. The roots of virtue that I accumulate through listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma is for the sake of accomplishing the happiness and purifying the sufferings of all sentient beings.
这里是我是太深了，这里就我是不多心。当年上不是基于告诉 다 리가 굉장히 성공도 맞죠. 영화 굉장히 예버서 뽕 신빙하니 내상 것이 제가 있는데 내상 것이 집이 자와대 그런데 지금 거의 많이 쓰는 거예요.
Next is the practice of morality. The nature of morality is a mind of abandonment. When I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on the Dharma, I abandon by not letting my physical and verbal negativities manifest.
더 세버스와 좀 투비센 수비 워스 반나시 내상 것이 집에 가서 리세나 강에다 두니 같이 좀 바이나 때 돈도는 세투가 지금 그래서 디소 데이터는 이제 세 번째에 내상 것이 집에 계좌에 그수 바이나 내시는 거예요.
Next is patience. The nature of patience is an undisturbed mind. I will patiently accepting any physical or mental hardships occur when I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on the Dharma.
더 시버 개월을 또 있으면 전기 중앙선 만나시 다 내상 것이 제발 집에 계셔라고 세하자 가와다 그토니 빈디전이 좀 바이나 내상 것이 집에 계좌에 전기 것이 많이 쓰는 거예요.
Next is joyous effort. Joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in virtue. I will take delight in the good deeds of listening, contemplating, and meditating on the Dharma.
당가바디 간다 세기 미파 겁나 찌기는 거는 상디지 무엇을 만나시 다 내상 것이 집에 계셔와들아 봐 생바데 찌기고 세대라는 세노도다 많이 와도 그래서 내상 것이 집에 계셔와라 세르바 찌기고 야보니 내상 것이 제바이나 다 뒤에 가서 내상 것이 집에 계셔와데 예자데 그 상디 빠진 점이 있는 거です.
Next is concentration. Concentration is a mind that single-pointedly focuses on any virtuous object. I will single-pointedly focus my mind on the intended object without getting controlled by distractions and discursive thoughts.
더 두바데 간다 싫음세와데 싫어 넘지지 바데 싫어지 무엇을 만나시 다 내상 것이 집이 치다 더 신지 몰라봐 야무지 신도 같이 좋아이나 다 간다 내상 것이 집이 계자데 싫어 것이 아니 싫어 싶어요 많이 쓰는 거です.
Next is wisdom. Wisdom is an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. I will properly and correctly understand the words and meanings of the Dharma that I listen to, contemplate, and meditate on.
아이케스인지 transited 상지식 공부가 뒤치도 더 전도는 되는데 지키 안에 책임도 중에 됐습니다. 그거 인사도 쓰고요. 주시스.
Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mother sentient beings, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I will listen to the commentary on the holy teaching, Lam Rim, and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings.
Yeah, thank you. Passing on the sound of the share. Nimba Shigura Joy is Shawaz day. What dimmer could you do in Stavans?
So today I'm going to start with this outline: what to do while free from laxity and excitement.
That is so what they got to she did a try. The shells of the Ganda. Ganda, she did that she get trauma the law. She get trauma jig. Won't be Yana, she wanted Yana, the bunch of same number, number you can see the water. Look on the danger between that and that. Say, name with this about the zone. So what name with this because that name with them, but I did because what came by now. That kind of sitting in the new year, resting in the very good. Because of that name with that one. I know this one. I know this. The she did a giant set name with him and do my reason. What she did a giant name with him by the thing in the drink. Yes. It is that kind of name with Tanu. Yes, Tanu. The Tanu home by that is a shabby. Yes, but the thing is, say the temple need to be yes.
On the text, it says, it is a problem for your concentration if you apply yourself or make effort after subtle laxity and excitement have been terminated, as explained above, and the mind has entered into equanimity without the imbalances of becoming either lax or excited through the meditations. So as an antidote to that, we should cultivate equanimity. So what it says here is, when our concentration is free from laxity and excitement, then if we were to apply antidotes at that time, then it will become a fault in our concentrations, or in other words, then it will harm our concentrations. So what we should do at that time when our concentration is free from laxity and excitement is we should enter into equanimity. So this is what we should do. So we should enter into equanimity, and by doing so, our mind will remain stable.
What do you want the other level that say, and name with the shape of the two was between the region of the that did not money to what the shape of two should be that thing is the chain. The rest of that chain is my share with you. Say no to Bubasna. Bubashina say no to Bupas and Wa. Bubachum by not say no to Wa. She wants you might say, is it what? Maybe think somebody like she gave woman with so dead to producer, dead to be instead to producer, it kind of she's there. She wants to say, but she want to say, Napala, the chamber money, they kind of thing is it. It was a boy to create a war. That thing is it. She said, oh, she want you to conduct so good to say that nobody to the chamber she finish the thing. What the region but they didn't say you want you in imagine say the you want to do this. They say you want just now. They say you want to do the thing of the body. It's what the pollution is what the pollution. What the good setting was a singing in that you the time of this. What the pollution is a new color. In that not it very time. It are this is what did you
Obligation and effort become problems at the point when you grow confident that laxity and excitement will not arise in every session because you throw the mind inward and uplift it whenever it is lax. At that stage, it is a mistake to be as cautious of laxity and excitement as you were in the beginning. So what faults will follow if when our concentration is free from laxity and excitement, if we were to exert effort into it in applications, or we put effort. So what problems or faults it will follow is so when our concentration if in case our mind become excited, then we need to withdraw our mind. We need to draw our mind inward. If in case laxity arises, then we have to lighten our mind or will uplift our mind. So when these laxity or excitement are not in danger of arising, that time we should relax our effort. So we do not need to put as much effort as we did in the beginning. So at that point of time, we need to relax our effort. So effort is the one that we relax here at this point of time, not the intensity of applications. So the intensity of applications of our mind remain the same. Intensity of apprehensions remain the same. Is not the one. That is not what we should relax at this point of time. What we should relax at this point of time is the effort, not the intensity of apprehension.
I think also, yeah, I can't tell you who is it, the will. I tell you who is it, that on you the home. So, yeah, she did much of it. Angela who was it. Yeah, but that might just say she was. I don't want to know my station. This station she need much me. Angela who is here. Yes, I can't reach over here. She did watch about. Never mind, I guess to be dense for that she did much too much up. Killer, Daniel the home. Yes. Wow. They got the Nika Daniel go by the want to think into the table. Table Chow, so what? It's a general Chow. That's what a general Chow. Daniel wanted to do. They give one much of this thing Daniel won't back in your mind. Wow. Indeed, you know, I should come out to be. When you are so good, you say you might not be bothered. I know one you marry. I know one you marry. Why you say this? She wanted everybody to live enough. I know where I am. She will and then put one. Wow. What did you say?
So so we need to cultivate equanimity. So the time to cultivate equanimity, so as it says on the text, therefore, these cultivations of equanimity is not performed at all times that laxity and excitement are absent. Rather, after laxity and excitement have been largely destroyed. This is because there is no equanimity until you have largely destroyed laxity and excitement. So regarding the time to cultivate equanimity, when our concentration is free from laxity and excitement, is not at all times when laxity and excitement are absent, but rather after the power of laxity and excitement or the force of laxity and excitement have been destroyed, then that is the time we cultivate equanimity, when our concentration is free from laxity and excitement.
라마도 따는 공부, 야 따는 공부를 해서, 야 따는 따는도 간디지 우리네 따는도 예습이야. 좋아. 따는 공부를 공부해서 따는도 그래. 따는도 단치가 공부를 해서. 따는도는 가서 좋아. 재미 따는, 기 따는 송. 그래서 공부를 와. 공부를 해서. 좋아. 따는서는 아주 좋아. 대화 뭐 두니야 비비들이 좋아 됐고. 좋아. 나 재미 따는 것이면 어디 근데 명확히 들로 대화 거라. 그래서 이것도 단어를 가서 지내 단어를 잡고와. 그래서 근데 내가 지금 로저나 지와. 이게 도마 단어도 뭐 힘이와. 어디까지 단어를 지내 단어를 잡고. 나 단다데 좋아 단어를 지내 단어 니가를 잡고요. 니가를 잡고요. 단다데 가를 잡고. 난 뒤시 단어를 세. 와 뒤시 단어를 세. 뒤시 단어를 세워야 무슨 막 그처럼 보고 싶어와. 그래서 뒤시 단어를 세워야 가서 그래서 배를 잡아이나 노종지 우리라 노종지 제바이나 네 참전에 배 이마 간자라고 많이 봐 팔아야지 맞아 배 노종시 제바지 네 상상 니마 빙하를 찌어야 제바지 이 대비 잡아이나 네 대시 단어 보여 아 대시 단어에서 와서 무슨 니마지라 배가 좀 지고나 니마니가 많이 다 보지 되는 좋아. 나와 지나다가 뭐 이렇게 말을 제가 이거 제가 아니요 이거 그거들라 난 이게 나는 거 괜찮아요. 좋아. 이 단어는 그래. 난 정말도 되고 해서 이게 좋아. 이제 단어에서 뭔가 그걸 쓰자고 생각도 뭐다 그거니. 근데 신기니 그거 제 많이 믿는 거 믿니까는 되게 되게 아니 시 받는 거지. 좋아. 시 받는 거지. 아까다 밑바닥라 그다음에 세 내가 challenge where this what that can what the malasa what the kaki chair or what the malasa what the mai this is the gara rush new this Shimala Nimbote Gubala Nimboti Ayamari, Noah. What did the Porugula? This is the relation there with his Noah.
So it says that we need to cultivate equanimity. So what kinds of equanimity that we need to cultivate? So as it says on the text, well then, what is this equanimity? Among the three types of equanimity, a neutral feeling, immeasurable equanimity, and equanimity of application. It is the last one. So so we have already talked about this equanimity in relation to feeling, in relation to measurables, and in relation to application as well. So this, in this context, equanimity in this context refer to the application. So when we talk about previously, when we talk about feeling, the neutral feeling is a feeling that is neither pleasant nor unpleasant. So there is neutral feeling. And when we talk about measurables, so the four immeasurables, which is to be cultivated before we train our mind in 7 cause and effect, one of the methods to generate bodhicitta, so 7 cause and effect. So we need to train our mind in 4 immeasurables, and one of it is measurable equanimity. So this I have mentioned before already. And the last one, equanimity of application. So this is the equanimity that we are thinking in this context. So equanimity of applications, to give you an example to illustrate this is, for example, when we study Lam Rim. So if we study Lam Rim in this manner that sometimes, we study all day and night, and then even forgetting to eat food. And then for another few more days, then you totally do not study Lam Rim at all. So then this shows that there is no equanimity of application. So but rather, on the contrary, if we were to study Lam Rim, for example, the first day, then we study 30 minutes, and the next day we also study 30 minutes, and then we continue in this manner, in an equal manner that we spend 30 minutes a day to study Lam Rim, then there is equanimity of application. So the time in general, when the time to cultivate equanimity is when our mind do not distract to something else. Our mind stays on the object of observations, and there is no arising of laxity and excitement. Then that is the time we cultivate equanimity. At that point of time, we do not apply antidotes. There is no application of antidotes to both laxity and excitement since they are not present.
So they are also I'm a general design and I'm okay, some are totally correct. Not going to say my never seen. You don't go to the same bit of the water because they say no bit of the water. They're not going to see this which color because of the twat and they did take out the tunnel to be says nothing in the Bumana, in the Bumani. It was a what I could have been a miss. You got what I would do. I should give my tunnel. So the tunnel will be taken and a toy of the chair on my miss. This is very actually enough. Ridiculous shipment.
So its nature is the mind resting, as it says on the text. Its nature is the mind resting evenly and at ease upon its objects associated with either shamatha or special insight, operating naturally and achieving suppleness. So suppleness, another translation for this is serviceable. So just as explained in Sravaka levels. So here Rinpoche quoted Sravaka levels to support this point. So its nature is the mind resting evenly. So resting evenly, meaning that mind is in a state that is of good quality. The mind that stays on the object in a very good quality way. So when you have achieved such equanimity, equanimity like this, as you cultivate concentration free from lethargy and excitement, you should let that equanimity be fully manifest as you place the mind without strong. So when you have achieved such equanimity, when your concentration is free from lethargy and excitement, so at that point of time, then you should cultivate equanimity, and then you do not apply strong effort at that point of time.
我的弟兄，当然是他得的，他讲的定义是见面接触哇，他定义是的俺说的，见面把的，接触的些不得考啊，也是不怎么不重要的话，因为是见面把接接把的，你从不得考的嘛，西边的是不得俺说云他是云他的说的吧，那的嘛云他的，定义是见面把接了，他云他的说把的，那往去打来打把人呐，他定义是见面把比打不赢，这都那个时候的话。云他的送把哪些情况？云他的嘛，这种情况的，你见面之间的对的，那的，不是那个是，也不怕多的，如果你去决定啊，云他吧，帮你收服啊，我到底没学的话，人家都得过不的，你的见面多吧去，接完了，当然了，我的你多了，我把你的不好，是的，这个是吧？那都没学，
So this is in accordance with what is set forth in distinguishing the middle from the extremes. So Rinpoche state a reference regarding the way to generate a faultless or flawless concentration. So as it says here, so Rinpoche quoted distinguishing the middle from the extremes as a reference.
那的气的啊，就你这个气的强壮，我把它呢，第四章的这样子。그 두 번이나 이방하다 이보다 치대 뒤에 마토도 야 내려간 담아서 이게 신데 이보다 등무신 난 내방 안 돼도 치대 내방 뒤가 들어와
내롱아디에
내방 안 들어와 이거 야
지지의 숨도 지지의 뒤지 오스트림보도
지금이 뭐가서 년보도 시험이 이거 되나 년보다 기다 기분이 좀 없어 이번 지금 뭐 신도 비바 또가 대부분 이번 비슷한那就不是对的，但是那个你自己快就是说，你好挺多，
很文艺的，
这个你好挺多，
今天有些给的马长吧的，
你帮我们这什么老嘛对吧？其实你老当的当完那是你可以留下对吧？
你老
当的当完那，那个是你说对吧？
你考不懂，
那对的，
那
的我你把它对吧？那的就把我说，你看当个是你不打你们你把个子对了对吧？他不得你把你把对了对吧？你弄当了，你在你把哪就，第二个你弄你不什么习惯对吧？你弄你把的对你把什么子你不习惯对吧？
那说。So regarding the quotations from distinguishing the middle from the extremes, if you are not able to memorize all of them, it's good. If you are not able to memorize all of them, but there are about 3 verses here, so it's good to then instead of if you are unable to memorize these 3 verses, at least you memorize 2 verses. So, which is the second one and the third verses. So starts from laziness, forgetting the instructions, laxity, and excitement. So this talks about the 5 faults. And then here it talks about the 8 factors. So basically then you try to memorize these 2 verses until resting naturally when they are calm. From here up to here.
I think also my dima, dear Muchik, the cinema,那是今天嘛就等待的效果啊，那就等待下来嘛是的，给了你说没的嘛，那你那个这个嘛，这目前嘛的，对嘛生活啊，那今天嘛说的看到当过的电影，那你呢，我就记得了，今天来说我的他点了他就把他把这个那你给他看的，我是吧，我是他点到的嘛什么去结果啊，他点到的看到，也把我不。你不你是就对不对？大家的经验就充满了，你是不干话，你帮我帮的话，你帮我帮， point on it, you don't have one to remember the Jit David. David Jit the Mujila Dug on the thing is the thing is total principle. It is what she knew she would walk years ago. She needed to buy also. Other Jesus in Nevada. Yeah, the name would J. It Timbalatine, and Piggy, the name would Timbalatine. Other. He doesn't make devotion in cosmetic way. What you told years ago.
So the quotations from distinguishing the middle from the extremes, start with staying with that there is subonus. Again, the subonus here can be translated as serviceable. So from here and then up to this to here. So basically, Jerumuche then gave explanations on the words of these quotations. So if I were to go through each of all of these, then it would take some time. So basically, Rinpoche's words explanations here is, if you abandon the five faults, which are obstacles, by applying the 8 types of applications, which are the antidotes, from which one achieve concentration. So in concentration in this context, it refers to calm abiding. So you can say that you achieve calm abiding, or calm abiding is achieved by doing so, or client C is achieved by doing so, which is by applying antidotes, which are the 8 types of application to the 5 faults, the obstacles.
That other thing is what? The never know for the neighbor keep the thing to the one years, keep the years. No, so don't never got them. Switch to what? I never got them. Yes, so the yellow. What? You know the yellow, so the conduct and that need to go on the you would have a little they want to do what? You need to go on the conduct symbol of thought and you would have a and no see what. Okay, what on the lush. 아니 뭐 당하지 못하면 다른 뒤니가 간다 주의지 등이 하나 주의가 스타마다 이거 통원도 뒤니들 노다 당하지 못해 주의가 와 단다 등이 무슨 등이도 뭔가 도마 왜 무엇이든 배선이가 이가 와서
조화가
주의가 등이도 뭔가 주의가 등이도 뭔가 무엇이든 무엇이든 와 등이도 뭔가 무엇이든 등이도 뭔가 조화 주의가 나단다 내놓으세요 당연히 이게 뭔가 유익가스 이거 좀 와. 아 유익가스 내가 찾아가 나도 신이들 두발아 아무 레로 한번 도와다 신이들 공부하라 맞도 와다 뭐 뭔데 봐 이동하기 이동하기 도봐 다들 신이들 공부하라 가서 뭐 좋아하니까 와 무시 뭐야 와 이게 무시 아무 레로도 무시 와.
So there are 5 faults are as follows. So in this verse, the 5 faults are listed. So the first one is laziness, and the second one is forgetting the instructions. So the 5 faults are as follows, as it says on the text. So at the time of application, so application also means preparation. So we talk about before the actual sessions. So the time before that, or the phrase before that, is preparation or preparatory stage or preliminary stage. So at that point of time, laziness and forgetting the instructions are. So laziness is a fault because you will not apply yourself to concentration. So for example, you do not take delight in doing meditation or cultivating concentrations, and you do not wish to engage in meditations. So these are because of faults. And the second one is when you put effort into concentration, forgetting the instructions is a fault. Or if you forget the object, there will be no meditative equipoise of the mind on the object. So these 2 are the faults that occur at the time of preparation.
다들 가다 레로드 가서 마치 못 보시다래. 레로드가 지당 가서 도도지 버시거이나 이와 도도를 가서 이슈지 레로 빌리빌레로 저와 예시지 레로세 다 계스만 지당 레로 미다가 뒤서 뭐다 다 계스만 이오다 와 지슈지 레로 가서 못 보시다래. Pilelo, Jilu Pilelo, Rangi Hidelo. Yes. That is my digital that Sarva. That was the tissue they want to know pay, yeah, is it what she was talking about person. That was a she to Balape, send better show. Cheers now. That was the Sonny Chili, Nani Chili, now Gemma Chili, no Gemma Chili, this is the loss of they want to do it. That the pay. Ninga chimbu shujo that. That thing was she should be a bishop. Wow. Was it? No, no, so Gemma, so bad. Nani dog away, so to September. So to say much enough. Yes, yeah, Sonny Chili, Nani Chili, now Gemma, the Lord Gemma, the bishop will say on that zone. You can't that so you sing in the Gingo Chawina and no Mombotilla Kanda, instead of the collaboration. The security didn't want to do that to teach.
So when we talk about laziness, and we have that's all. So we have talked about laziness many times already, and we have learned that they are we have learned about the divisions of laziness as well. So there are three divisions of laziness, and the first one is laziness of procrastination. Procrastination, or you always postpone. And the second one is laziness of low self-esteem. And the third one is laziness of clinging to negative deeds or misdeeds. Laziness of clinging to misdeeds. So the first one, laziness of procrastination, that we are in great danger of having this because we always we tend to postpone things, or we tend to delay the things that we need to do. So, and because of this, our time, most of our time is wasted. For example, studying Dharma or practicing Dharma, and we always postpone it to tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and etc. Then, by doing so, most of our times are exhausted. So, and most of our time are exhausted. So we have to be very careful. We have to be careful of this laziness of procrastinations. So we are our own protector, meaning we have to give ourselves time to study Dharma or practice Dharma.
那等于学校里老师话的，我说去讲基本没办法的。那这个说所以呢，得说能的来个人呢，是吧？不给搞可能性，我来个结果呢，那等于学校里老师话是呢，就说给这个小孩呢，读个嘛的，能的来个人呢，读个嘛的，常常被是人都往背，是吧？我是去几步给钱嘛，但去了的人有啊。现在被路线交了的人有，去几步嘛的，是个能给来个的，是出给来个的，哪里呢？常常了，那几个学这个往多呢。
So this laziness of procrastination is not only applied to practicing Dharma or studying Dharma. It also applies when in relation to our livelihood. For example, we need to work to earn a livelihood, or we need to do business, for example, to earn a livelihood. So if we are under the control of this laziness of procrastinations, then no mentions about develop any achievement in Dharma practice. So even our normal work or our normal business cannot be accomplished as well.
我真的在学校里来说，他讲的小孩眼睛里来说，他特别样，小孩眼睛里来说，他们的走步的，常常讲的，马上不是那掐的，那的，不是那是吧？他哪么一难的，走步一难的，那常常马上不是那做起掐。你感觉是被小孩人家说，你一定是呢，也叫我老师吧，被点地这么忙吧，是吧？吃到门定吧，吃到门定被点地往这张去吧，我说被我那这小孩点到门定吧，吃到门定吧，小人吧，你没地方的，你这张对了，你这当没呢？我讲的，也讲的，我们了。没去过的，周末了，然后嘛的， 그 빈자 같이 쓰시나 그거 너무 많이 쓰다. 이 책만 이제 주고 시간이 지지를 놓고 들어가 있나?
So and the next one is laziness of clinging to misdeeds or negative deeds. So this one is laziness is the one that makes or creates disharmony among among friends, and among friends or in a family. So, for example, if we spend most of our times in gambling, or spend most of our time in playing games or doing negative actions or improper actions, then this will only create disharmony and also a disliking in our friends and in our family members. Because of this, our family members are not going to be happy about it, and our friends will not be happy be with it also. So this laziness is the one that creates disharmony among friends and family members.
어디지? 어디 간다 가서 수수께 저는 지금 수수께 내가 된다 가르고는 됐을 것 같아. 이게 소치 참 좋아. 바지 제발 그 바지를 두고래. 이거 바지 두고는 좋아. 어디 참으래.
So not only that this laziness of clinging to misdeeds is the obstacles to the accomplishments of any things that we want to accomplish. Not only that it is an obstacle, it is a great obstacle to the accomplishments of any goals.
근데 시간이 내로 되거든요. 소소 소소리 뭐 나머지 저기 참아도 비리소라 내가 전부 이거 내가 전부 열었어. 뭐 참아도 비리소라 내가 여기 내가 전부 열었어. 내로 되고 있나?
So if we are under the control of laziness, of clinging to misdeeds, then it will put ourselves, our family members, and our friends in great danger. So because of this laziness, then there is a great danger that we might harm their body and even take their life.
우리 아버지 정시다 나와이나 동반 지원이다 다 저한테 스네 도스체 동반 지와테 한장한테 그래서 동반 그런 말 세슈도 말 차는 건데 동반 그런 네 문제는 최제 우리 문제는 소소 간다 들어와 투자 좀 봐줘 가리나들 누구랬어 이제 가와투구래 니 가와투구래 서 가와투구래서 앞에 누가 그런 요한테 끼고 막 이슈처럼 네 맞추는 거다 누가 그런 요한로다 맞다 때 제발은 남정 나와서 많이 뛰어가도 그래도 그래서
Regarding the second type of laziness, the laziness of low self-esteem, then it can be, it might seems beautiful in the sense that one might seem humble. So when we talk about this laziness of low self-esteem, if we, as among Lama friends, for example, if we would encourage each other, to continue to study Lam Rim, for example, or to engage in proper actions or good deeds and etc., then the one who are under the control of laziness of low self-esteem, they might, from the appearance, it might seem humble. Like for example, they might physically also show so the so-called the humbleness, instead of showing the confidence, and they might show a bit shy, and then their facial expressions also a bit shy, then say that, oh, how could I do that, how could I do this, and etc. So even though one might seem humble, and however the one who said this might have might be under the control of laziness of low self-esteem.
Oh, that's the teaching of the law. But you will know what the that should be what. That and that one, so that and that just done the couple and that she need to that you know the ship very. That she need to bala little test on the car and over in a gun was she need to a patchy shower. Little test on. I don't want to go by now, what's the patchy shower. And when it's in a jill below the thought in the chip, we are your body. As I get it, you are the so that so repair. I do in a message in a book. That's our new marine so that you find. In general, before this, that you want to be much more conditioning. But this one, that was a big jill below one of the issue child that don't know anything but the literally you were your festival. The day was a short time to us. It was a soldier, was it? Sanji, no, that. Seeing the lapel, so closure of whichever the Sanji combat was Susa. What? What this is a that kind of the typical church so that so we join on what Sarah Bunny, but such a book. And the Savannah, seeing the shadow generation to you. Chetu. The Sindela Dipasan of the new. You what Sarah Thomas and about the people such a book as I saw in another half Omarwa. John Molanserwa. Small Giboro. And it deeper country Savannah. Same de la Susu Pay. Number 40 when it other G. That's just happened. What? This was a was not doing enough. You might start another this year.
Yeah, so if we are under any of these three types of laziness, and then it becomes a fault in accomplishing come abiding. So we have to be be careful of it and make sure that we are not under such under such control of laziness. So and among these three, the laziness that we have to be very careful. We have to be very cautious is the laziness of low self-esteem. So we have to make sure that we do not fall under such control. So even how you show the facial expressions, physical expressions, or even you say in a very soft voice and etc. So you have to make sure that it is not out of laziness of low self-esteem. So regarding this low self-esteem that one is unable to accomplish home abiding in this context, for example, then we have to remind ourselves that Shantideva, Bodhisattva Shantideva had already mentioned in Bodhicharvatara, engaging in the Bodhisattva, that if whatever goal you want to accomplish, if you put effort in it, there is nothing you cannot accomplish. So that means that if you put effort in it, then you can accomplish anything. So similarly, when we say attaining enlightenment, so this is attainable. We can achieve. So by doing what? By purifying our obscuration, for example. So not only that we need to purify, we are able to purify obscurations in this life. We are able to purify however great obscurations that we have accumulated in our past life since beginningless time by applying the four opponent powers and to restrain from such misdeeds and to purify or confess such negativities. So if we fully applying the four opponent powers, we're able to purify such obscurations or such negativities, and then we will be able to achieve our goal, the state of enlightenment.
Oh, that one got a little one and over in Lamrim to the part. You know, as Lamrim, no, people with it. Get over here, the other thing about the people have to go and that they know the nearby. You know, you're not belong to the churches. Like humans. It is humans. They saw the Padua. They know they want to know. They know what's not much doing in the Shire. They never let the humanism. They saw the Padua.
Even the Jerry Rinpoche words in Lam Rim also very easy to understand. So as it says here, the five faults are as follow. At the time of application of preparation, laziness is a fault because because of laziness, you will not apply yourself to concentration, or you will not put effort in concentration. So it's very easy to understand. So, and the second fault is when you put effort into concentration, forgetting that instructions is a fault. Or if you forget the object, there will be no meditative points of the mind on the object. So the instructions here the instructions here refers to the instructions or teachings that you heard or received from your teachers or from your gurus, how to choose objects of observations. If laxity or excitement arises, then what antidotes that you need to apply in that particular situations and etc. But if you were to forget those instructions or those teachings, then as it says on the Lam Rim, there will be no meditative equipoise of the mind on the object. So in other words of saying this is, there is no cultivation of concentration.
Oh, dear. That never somebody that. That never somebody can that. You need to number share because she want to give a lady. Oh, she want to give a you need to take the payment of that, take the lunch getting to your cousin. What? But you could have the person on sympathy like it's to the shower. Shower enough. That she give the listener. That she give the listener that never. That never she said. Well, I don't know, but she give the safe day much. Safe here. That they said they much about Yanni, Mamma. What? Well, say the Yanni, Monty. Yeah, and that day much about you. They say that how to do much is Jojo's. That what you saw that. The Leoshing, but they say the Jojo Mipa de Machi Yakuma, which is at it. Thing is Chaumarwa. Thing is Chaumarwas. But they say, listen on your mares another. They never the Leo Shingit Leo. Say, listen what Chaumaris. Say, listen what Chaumas, say that there's a ditching Mari. They say, Yakin Mati. Those are school. What they watch in the room.
And the third one is laxity and excitement are faults because they prevent mental suppleness in meditative equipoise. So again, mental suppleness is mental serviceability. So the example that we always use is when we focus our mind on the object of meditation, Buddha's image. So if laxity or excitement arises, then it has already causes harm. It has caused harm to our concentrations already, because when we focus our mind, when we do meditations, focusing our mind on the Buddha's image, so our mind is supposed to stay or abide on the objects of observations, right? In this case, is the Buddha's image. However, if laxity or excitement arises, then our mind will not be able to properly stay on the object of meditations anymore. So instead of staying single pointedly on the objects of meditations, our concentration is so it's not straight anymore. So then straight as in single pointed on the objects of meditations. Our concentration is being pulled by laxity or excitement from the objects of meditations. So our mind become unserviceable. So our mind become unserviceable also means that our mind do not stays on the objects of meditations anymore. When to explain this in an easy way is our mind do not stays on the objects of meditations anymore.
Oh, dear. 那这个呢，说讲的也讲是比高度比大头要不是吧？那是吧？这个你把人生来说就嘛，你说这个对吧？啊，那你去是吧？那我说你们习惯是吧？那身体学习，我说身体学习你不没得嘛，对了吧？是吧？身体学习没做的，你们人是，那对你们我的成绩强，身体来我就可能怕，啊对了，是嘛？假把人对可以那个接的，我说，或者是呢，我说第三个第几个嘛？所以第三国家这个点嘛，啊，后来我的，我说这个点位呢，后来我的我说国家个第几个，身边点位，到点嘛几个几，国家可能把错误的，国家可以错误的，可能点位啥看的，我说点嘛就可能点位，可能点了我说第三秒，第三秒点不清楚啊，那点哪些的？那对了吧？我领导呢，也可能啊，比较当然我是他以前我看的。
And the next fault is when laxity and excitement occur, it is a fault not to make effort. So not making effort when laxity and excitement occur is a fault. So for the two are thereby not pacified. So not putting effort when laxity and excitement arises is similar to this example. So if laxity or excitement arises, then we are trying to push us out of our chair. So we are sitting properly on the chair. So and when this laxity and excitement arise, then they are trying to push us off the chair. So if we do not apply any antidotes or do not apply any efforts to eliminate them, then we will be pushed off the chair by this laxity and excitement, and then laxity and excitement will stay on the chair or sit on the chair. So we are no longer, our mind is no longer with the objects of meditations anymore. So when laxity and excitement arise, then we have to push them away. So when they arise, then we have to push them away by applying effort.
在新区学生啊，我们做的年报里也是看到，看到年报里的我说，变小白呢，我说，挺快见到我是变小白呢，挺快，你就开心，你可以兴趣哇，你可以兴趣，那我说别错啊，你怎么去效果哇？你给错啊，对啊，你给怎么效果？那说没上的了，你可以兴趣去玩呢，那你这个不要不，我说是接着这个路途呀，不彻底干了，啊，就老是把下。我给你，那干的，给你可好嘛？搞吧，一般会强制啥子或者没个说结果，咋看的？那没个说的过，那这个东西对得起不的，是你不，你心里想一次，你不那些白呢？就举个例子，我说谁的，在周边的谁的那个电脑机，有效果的哇，听过的哇，那个说可以，内心的了，因为我现在是呢，手的怕挡不，现在怕马搞吧，呢，那可以强制没个说的。那是说了，那就讲，那别想了，对吧
？And so this laxity, how say, not applying effort when laxity and excitement occur is like, how say, if we have a piece of land, if we have a good piece of land and also good seeds and etc. So good seeds of rice seed. So we have good quality of rice seed, and then we have a piece of land. So rice is very important in our living in our lives, right? So if we sow the seeds, and when it sprouts or when it's about to sprout, if birds and etc. they come and try to eat your seeds, your rice seeds, if you do not stop them or chase them away, then they will finish your seeds, right? Or they will finish your seeds, and then you have nothing to eat in your lives, in your life. So similarly, similar to this example, when laxity and excitement arise, if we do not do anything to chase them away or to get rid of them or to push them away, as an example, as I mentioned just now regarding sitting on a chair, then it will harm our concentration.
有问题。这个是你们习惯的，习惯的表现是，那你不点吧呢？是你不点吧，那点吧也是我的。性别的条件嘛，对不对？性别的 新给的呗，我们越的不是想的寂寞特别，应该是别，那个要不小米高了，这个的这第一个了呀，新给，没许多新给了，你不点的话呢，那刚的这你把意思，是吧？这你把强意思，这那个不把朋友是吧？新给的这一次，不然你们点吧呢？点不点啥的我是新给的了，是吧？是吧？做新给的话，那新给买车的可能你不点的会要买，是吧？你刚才对的，我说，你别去了没啊？那别大手艺的，毕竟没大手上给比起过了，别了不起啊！我说大手艺呢，我说那肯定很仔细了，这个地方了，毕竟手上没就过了，没了过了，对吧？我记得我你去了没呢？那你这个手艺是你学的吧？几百块，你也可以要嘛是吧？也可以要嘛的，错了啊，就错了，我的。我第二呢，超过的是吧？对吧？那新给的这一次你不点，我也好，那会有关系。你不点了，你就过的是。
So the next fault is when there is no more laxity and excitement, the intention to apply yourself becomes a fault. So intention to apply becomes a fault when there is no more laxity and excitement. So when your mind is in equanimity, where there is no imbalance because of laxity and excitement, if you were to apply antidotes at this point of time, then it becomes a fault. Because when we say apply antidotes, the to whom we apply the antidotes is laxity or excitement, right? If laxity or excitement then why you apply the antidotes? Since there is no object there for you to apply the antidotes to get rid of, so there's there's no need to apply antidotes at this point of time. If you were to apply antidotes at that time, it becomes a fault. So if you are trying to hit, you are trying to shoot an arrow without the target.
我到这里，我刚才我说新给的这一次，你不点的，我说你几乎看了，你看嘛几个，我的比把的看的，别说嘛，你也就是个几乎是你不的话，你不是你嘛就你多点几个条子了，你看嘛几个钱，我说你也就是有了，嘛你也就是了，我说嘛，别呢，那你嘛就你多点东西，不你嘛几个，你嘛几个你也少东西，我，你东西差不多是看的，别看的新的这一次呢，看的，你我听了你东西差不多是吧？你几个看嘛几个钱，你东西，我说原来这些呢别嘛几个钱，别嘛几个东西，你东西差不多是。我但新的这一次对原来调过看的，原来调过的，是或者新的这里面的也是，原来这些被前面那个起来就把学问，新上面的第一学问是第一学的我几把差不多，你说隔离了哇？我到底我也是我到底你们点白了的，反正你们差不多是了。
So this is like when at the time of sleep, at the time as when it's time to sleep, then we hook ourselves up. We wake ourselves up at the time of sleep. So there is no need to do so because that is the time to sleep. And if you were to wake yourself up, then there is no purpose in doing so. So similarly, when it's time to sleep or when it's time to relax, if you do not stay in that way, then first there is no need to do so, and it will becomes a fault as well. So similarly, when you say that, oh, I'm trying to hit a dog, but there's no dog there, then what are you trying to hit? So it also shows that there is no need to do so.
那就是说，咱们都讲到新闻的结果呢嘛，所有消费呢，都都强了不的是嘛，那个做，我等到新的记得些，是吧？他得告诉国内的所有人都是收到钱，是吧
？So stages of meditation says that there are 5 faults if you count laxity and excitement together, and 6 if you count them separately. So quite literally, there are 5 faults mentioned. So if you were to count laxity and excitement separately, then it becomes 6 faults.
我的去， 당아서 네버 당보 당아서 네버시를 찾았다 와 아 네버 가서 두마 잡아들어 네버 가서 우리 잡아지 아 네버도 소리를 이거 네버 들어와 네버 당보 내놓어서 들라 네버도 봐야 들라 네버도 시려 아 네버 시려 와 네버 시려 아 네버 간다 잠깐 가서 뭐 진행고 있어서 가도 시그런 게 진행고 그때 비차고 쓰는 와 쓰는 차고 뭐 진행고 가도 봐 다시 내가 가다 네버 누구야 같이 있는 거 누구를 같이 이게 나야 내가 너야 맞지 봐. 이게 맞게 뭐. 아, 대비 시장하고 내가 몇째 맞게 되는 거. 와, 그때가 이나 카드 번 이거 뭐 들어와. 무슨 뭐. 뭐 무슨 님바다 대바 니가 이나 나가 너무 뭐야 그거. 이게 요 주인은 뭐 잡고 나간다. 와. 주인은 뭐 하고 그래. 아니 저 나한테 가서 어디 보시. 나도 한번 내가 한번 내놓기 때문에 뭐 같이 막 예시 들어 어디 뭐 내가 민바 전주 시장 예 그동안 더 벌어
So we have talked about the five faults already. So to apply antidotes to these five faults, then the antidotes are the eight factors. So the eight factors, so as it says on the text, among their antidotes, the eight factors for eliminating them, laziness has four. So there are four antidotes to counteract laziness. So laziness has more antidotes to apply than the other. So and these four antidotes are faith, aspiration, effort, and pliancy. So among these four antidotes, there are antidotes, there is antidotes is the direct antidotes. The direct antidotes and other antidotes are also antidotes. And another type of antidotes is the antidotes that when you apply that laziness will not be able to arise again.
아마도 비상도나 땅 되고 싶게 차는 가서 내로 그냥 뭐 쉬고 때 소소 생각이 내봐이나 그땅 되고 어 되고 싶게 돼. 어디 고 되고 가르쳐서 가서 근데 네 값도 지내서 가서 인인지 공부하라 이거 뭐 내로 내려와. 이 값도 내로 들어셔 봐라. 저당 가서 내로 뭐 제사요 기사로 가서 근데 값도 내로 돼. 인인지 공부하라. 내로 내려와. 인인지 공부 때문에 내로 써서 아 땡인지 공부 때문에 내로 내려야 내가 좀 도야라. 그것이 그거 무슨 띵엔들가 보면 돼 봐도 좋아. 띵엔들은 좋아 매봐. 문제 봐 매봐. 그러니까서 띵엔들가 뼈 가장 거 연계다. 띵엔들가 그냥 엔디게 때 스멜 띵엔들가 필요다. 이게 좀 앞에 이거 같아. 엔디게 이거 가지고 쏘고 나 간다. 좋아. 이게 좀 쏘고. 띵엔들가 보면 돼 봐도 문제 봐. 그러니까서 띵엔들가 공부하는 피해가 되시오레스. 그래서 제일 되죠. 최판 대비한 거지요레스. 대지 띵엔지 대지 커버이나 한번도 요 가르치는 값치고 이거 뭐 세대뭐 세나도다 그거모서도 만도와 앞에 되게 싫래. 뭐 뭐냐 이어서 되게 싫어. 그러나 남이 뭐하이나다. 이거 그냥 로진지나다. 미치 가다. 다시 쳐봐이나. 어때? 뭐 뭔데비. 뭐 뭔데비 간다로와. 뭐 뭔데비 내놓대. 뭔다. 이봐. 뭐 뭔데 봤어야 돼. 와, 뭐 뭔데 되게 이게 스포로와. 이게 뭐 그냥 대화 보이지. 뭐 대화지. 대화지. 나 대화들 내우디. 대화들 내우디. 가장 뭔데 봤어야 돼. 요. 뭐 뭔데 보다 또 매번 싫어. 또 매번 봐. 또 매번 보러. 이게 이제 또 매번 뭐 뭔데 봐 싫어. 뭐 뭔데 봐도 또 매번 다 보고 싶어. 매번 뭐냐. 이게 이제 보내. 내가 인터뷰 때 가지고 다 뭔가 이게 보내. 시대 처도 성도도 이거 너무 인터뷰. 이 대박이야. 나 대박이지. 내가 되게 건다 뛰면서 보면 돼 봐. 야, 보면 돼 봐. 서봐. 아, 왜 그러나.
So regarding laziness, the laziness here specifically referred to the laziness of not wishing to do concentrations or not taking delight in the practice of concentration. So in order to counteract this laziness, then we need to apply antidotes, right? So if you think in this way, then it becomes very easy to understand and it will stick easily to your mind. So here the laziness of not wishing or not delighting in doing concentration, right? So in order to counteract that, what is the method? What is the antidotes that we need to apply? So we need to make our mind we need to make our mind captivating. So we need to make our mind wishing to or taking delight in doing concentrations by seeing the good quality of concentration, by knowing the benefits of concentration, by knowing what functions or what concentration do if we achieve it, what are the good features of concentrations. So by knowing all of these, then we develop the cultivating faith or delighting faith in our mind. So knowing that, for example, the benefits of developing concentration is whatever roots of virtue that we uh, create, it becomes powerful, and our mind becomes very stable when we're not, fall under the control of attachment, hatred, and etc. So how do you know about these benefits and qualities and functions and etc. of concentration? So you know about this by listening to the instructions given by Lama, and then and on top of and together with it, when you do self-study, you read books and etc. So you know about these benefits, good qualities, and etc. When you develop captivating faith or delighting faith in yourself, in order to counteract such laziness, the laziness of not wishing to or not delighting in doing concentration, in developing or developing concentration.
오, 저한테 그런 것도 저 뭐 대바리, 네모 뭐 대바들와 대바도 도서 레벨이 다 간다. 띵이 뭐 눈문 대바라 뭐 와, 또 봐. 좋아. 와. 와. 눈문 대바라 뭐 와. 생각 뭐 와. 지와. 또 봐 가는 거야. 근데
So that is the first antidote, which is faith. So if you apply such antidotes of faith, then you will be able to counteract or stop the laziness of not wishing to or not delighting in doing meditations.
아, 근데 대바들 레벨이 대바도 어디 레벨이 제가 띵이 있더라. 그런데 말이지. 정말 어디에 대바 이 집에 휴치고 레벨이 제가 전에 띵이들아 전에지. 이거한테 아, 휴치게 내가 내 두고 이거. 네, 내가 사이. 그거
띵은생기
뭐 이거 띵이 되더니 전에지 이거. 이거한테 다 용막이 용의 자체 자차. 자차 가르스는 빈바 유용하게 대바도 휴치고 쉬지 레벨이 빈바도 자차 장례를 했어. 어쨌든 레벨을 해서 딘딘 빈바도 대바도 힘제 버려. 언제그래? 제부선다 대바디기 빈바디 지역이 주체 강가다 대바다 사. 내 차들이 난 전부 주다. 그런데 이 거기서 서로 비키니까 서로 대바디고 와. 대바디고 와. 대바도 빈바다 이렇게 자. 이거 이제 가르치는 레벨에서 이거 되는 대바 휴치 뭐 이거 이게 마사오로 받아야 되는 그 차들이 제가 기억을 봤어. 또저저 어떻게 되면 뜬데 레벨로 봐. 어디래? 그때는 이제 받았다 도스리 그랬어.
And the second antidote is aspiration. So when we develop a strong faith, or as mentioned just now, the delighting faith or captivating faith, then naturally and absolutely the result will follow, which is aspiration. So aspiration is the result of faith. So when we the aspirations here refer to aspirations striving for the practice of concentration. So when you develop faith, which is the cause to develop, which is the cause for aspiration. So when the cause and conditions are complete, are present, then naturally it will give rise to its result. So in this case, when you have the cause and conditions of faith, then naturally it will give rise to the result of aspirations. So why do you say that you 100% give rise to the result of aspiration? Because the cause and conditions are present, are complete.
뭐지? 나 되는지 님바도 슈 전부 길에서 와. 나 되는지 님바도 슈 전부 레오데. 이미지라 되는지 님바도 슈 전부 레오데. 이미지라. 이게 그 근데 니바 맞이 다들 되는 좀 봐. 되는지 난다. 자리. 뭐 되는지. 되는지 님바도 슈 전부 슈. 이게 이미지라. 그 맞이. 그런데 난다. 그래서 자리 보이지. 가르친 점에서 되는지 님바도 되는지 줄에. 와, 그래. 되게 띵이 되는 인증받이 와. 인증받 되게 이게 집을 쓰는 게 지금. 와, 이게 내가 또 쓰는 게. 뭐 되게 해서.
So the third antidote is effort. So when we develop a strong inspiration, striving as a strong aspiration, striving for concentration, so then 100% or absolutely, it will effort will follow, effort will come. So why do you effort in concentration? Why do you say that effort will 100% because it will 100% come, or effort will for sure develops? Because the cause is there. The cause is inspiration. So when the cause is there, aspiration is there, then it will give rise to its result, which is effort.
그때 이 눈만 치셔도 되죠. 얘네들 민바시 좋아. 얘네들 민바디 슈 전부 레오데. 알까서 딱 띵이라. 먼저 많이 와대. 그래서 가데 예바가 이 대바디 띵이라 또 하면 받아. 누 먼저 받대 까 좋아. 예. 그러면 이게 까 와. 얘네들 민바 슈 전부 레오데 띵이라. 얘네들 걔도 많이 와대 까 간다.
저는
걔도 많이 와대 까.
레로.
이거 뭐? 와. 걔도 많이 와대. 아, 아무 팀이다. 되는 좀 해봐지. 아, 되는 좀 님바도 슈처 보려고데. 뭐 별로 치기만 나와. 그러니까 어디 레레는 거 된다 봐. 가야를 쉬고 와.
So when we have strong delighting faith or captivating faith, it counteracts the yeah, it counteracts the laziness of not wishing to concentrate, to engage in the practice of concentrations, right? So, and then the second one is the second antidote or factors is aspiration. So when we have strong aspiration, then it will counteract not striving for the practice of concentration. So when we develop strong aspiration, striving aspiration, then it will counteract the not striving. It will counteract the not striving for concentration practice. So it counteract differently. So one counteracts the laziness of not wishing to engage in the practice of concentration. Then aspiration counteracts not striving for practice of concentration.
that's what 저는 님발에서 전리 되자래 좋아. 하나도 전리를 내차니 아까다 제비 시장에서 한 제비 시장 더 봐줘 잘 간다. 좋아. 맞아 전리도 휴전부 비다고 예차니 예차 신제라 난 제비 시장에 자자자 그래. 나 어디 시에 말 대신만 도다는 시바이나 님만 맞지 빼어버려 돼.
So similarly, if we develop a great effort,
너무 전리 제비 때문에 지금 못 내려. 내려도 맞지하게 내려도 뭐 지금 못다 전리 차고 있어. 전리 레벨이 다 내려 가. 전리 시점 뭐 야보지나 다 내려 와는 거 같이.
So when we cultivate effort, so effort is the direct antidote to laziness. So when we cultivate effort or great effort, then 100% or naturally the result will come. The result is buoyancy.
다 전리도 여차 시절라. 제비 시절에 다 뭐야? 계속요. 다 전리도 시점 비다 보야 보지. 이 시절라. 간 레벨 전리 되게 레벨 시장에서 그래서 막 진짜 막 이거 상당한 관대고 싶고 막 정말 맞이야 빼고. 그래서 레벨 시장 더 어디 다 내려 자원이네. 기모 그래서. 레벨 시장 더 내려. 그래. 양식 제 못도 거지. 소걸 그러나. 와. 이 가디나 내려와도 정말 레벨 시장 더 사나?
照你做对吗？
我读嘛，
Yeah. So if we develop effort, then there is no undoubtedly the result, which is plan C, will come or will follow. So when we develop plan C, then we will not fall under, we will no longer fall under the control of laziness. Yeah, we will not fall under the control of laziness anymore. So if we think about these four factors or four applications of faith, aspiration, effort, and primacy in this causal relationship or causal connections, then it becomes very easy to understand and easy to keep in our mind as well.
我的，他们说到达小松啊，联络，那联络的感觉，你不感觉小松，那我这都点吧嘛，这吧，不是他们人吧，你嘛，军队上了大家的点吧季节嘛，我们定义这个点的进点吧的，点吧的就来，当我点吧的就，点吧的人，你修经过一点点不的干啥，点的点吧，点吧，点的点吧的人，你写吧的人，这不考这个是呢，这不点的点吧的了，点的是了，点的，都是点的，是吧？ 这个制度，原本定义了，作为原本制度的定的考这个是呢，这个市场，可能是人吧嘛，就是不是上了当白呢，这国内我学习了他，这个嘛就不要了，他来了，他都是人吧，来了，这来了大，哦，他得加入多，来了的了，他来了考的人呢，记录来了，那小啊，就是来了，来了，考的人考的加多，他的，
你学过的有啊？
我的，你学过的了。
Yeah, so thinking about the antidotes to laziness. So if you think in the causal relationship or causal connections, then it becomes very easy to understand and it sticks to your mind as well. So if we develop these four factors, then whatever laziness there is, we are able to counteract or stop them. So the first one is faith. So to develop the faith in the benefits of concentration and etc. So develop such captivating or delighting faith. So that is a cause to give rise to the results, which is aspiration. So when we develop a strong aspiration, then it becomes a cause to give rise to its result, which is effort. So when we develop strong effort, then it becomes a cause for its result, which is pliancy.
我他考虑我这边。 经常用这看这个联络肯定不可资历是肯定用的，然后网上过联络肯定不可资历是的，我当然讲是对面这个吧了呗，你联络这个嘛，你们这个嘛，多少写的，那个电话的嘛是嘛写的，报道嘛是你这几零八的，要不就要这个的，你接过的，我那个对面我把了，现在的你我把了，你我说联络的多少的写的，多少的话，你说的对。 联络得个反正多，我都小我一呢，我多少人嘛小多，他就说的嘛，啊，今年我的这人的呢，咱这边西乡头个，这边西乡的头呢，到了嘛，你要把叔叔举了去，要不然呢，联络我的找人沟通嘛，啊，我们在那里是话的，有个，
Yeah, so if someone were to ask you what is the direct antidote to laziness, then the answer is joyous effort. So, however, here four antidotes or four factors are mentioned because we are talking about how to gradually develop concentrations and how to gradually stop laziness or turn away laziness. So, therefore, four factors are mentioned. So, when we develop plan C, then this development of plan C will stop any future laziness, stop any laziness from arising in the future. So, however, if your plan C has degenerated, then there is a different saying. Otherwise, by developing plan C, then it will stop laziness from arising in the future.
他考虑的嘛，但你把通过联络你不多少的哇，你把通过联络你不多少个，你把什么就你不的联嘛的，是吧？你把什么去了，你把通过联络，你把他就是呢，你把他看的档案记不多，我记不你把档案记不多，档案记不多，他都看得去在那里什么， 당아 제바데 다 되게 녀고 다 다다 당아 집에 제발 하는 다 빨리 뭐가 맞으면 그래서 그래서 말이야 그래서 소소 세라가 따고 야고 지니 준비 나서 간다와 그 준비 나야 돼 준비 나다 나 나한테 준비 말했어 다 그 뭐도
And then the rest of the faults, also then there is also respectively there is one antidote to the rest of the faults. So the antidotes for forgetfulness, which is the second fault, forgetfulness or forgetting the instructions, then respectively the antidote is mindfulness. So mindfulness of not forgetting the instructions. So it becomes the direct antidotes to the fault of forgetfulness. So basically, the instructions given by Lama on how to develop concentration flawlessly, when you keep that in your mind, then you will not, then you will be able to stop the forgetfulness, right?
선녀가 이게 신기 말이야 이게 좋아 들어와 신기 뭐지 또 비시기 들어와 시기 들어와 다 시기 들어가 다 시기 들어가서 예봐 숨바 말해 숨바 들어와 어디다 되겠네 뭐 숨바를 간다 들어와
시기
들어 예봐 숨바를 간다 신기 들어와 신기 들어와 다 신기의 용 모용 그 시기인데 되겠네 뭐 저거를 다 되겠네 뭐 차서와 됐던 거 시기대 가도 시기 뭐지 뭐 가도 자고 용 이 신기대 시기대 가도 시기지 년부 되게 좋죠. 신기가 년부 되게 좋죠. 그마다 시기서 와. 그래서 가도 그래서 미다는 것도 신기가 년부서 그것도 아니고 와. 뭐 시기서 와. 신기 뭐지 년부 자고 용 그 년부 자고 차. 그 말아. 그런 신기 쇼마쇼 이거에마도 뭐죠 따지 징게 들어봐도 진짜 정말이나 시기대 있어 봐도 language 년부 자고 와. 와. 뭐 다들 신기 뭐에 셈버티기 년부 좋죠. 이게 소부터 있죠. 년부터 이게 따라하는 거예요. 그래서 그 신기 용 많이 이거 진짜 신기 용보다 조금 버리나 이거 뭔가 되게 좀 이게 좀 뭐에 셈버티고 때문에 년부 좀 좋아. 뭐든 하나들이 연부 시바들 숨바데 시기 좀 도비 시인이서 이 샤워래 이 샤야 교생인데 연부 되게 그라 아래 카두가 변화를 가서 시인이서 샤리도 와 뭐 제가들 연부 되게 주더래 저도 뭐지 연부 카두 너무
And the third fault is laxity and excitement, and the antidote to it is vigilance. So in this text, he says that vigilance is the antidote to laxity and excitement, right? So vigilance is the antidote that realize or that recognize the arising of laxity and excitement. So even though it is listed as the vigilance is listed as the it is listed or stated as the antidote to the faults of laxity and excitement. However, vigilance is not the direct antidote to laxity and excitement, because vigilance only recognizes the arising of laxity and excitement. So the direct antidote, why vigilance is stated as the antidote to laxity and excitement here, then because vigilance is the cause of its direct antidote. So the direct antidote to laxity and excitement is intention to abandon laxity and excitement. So in dependence on vigilance that recognizes the laxity, the arising of laxity and excitement, then intention to abandon laxity and excitement is the direct antidote. So because of this, therefore, vigilance is stated as the antidote to laxity and excitement.
신기 유무이 도피 시기인데 내가 손바닥 그래서 간다. 이민분이 시기 들어와. 다시 봐 되게 간다. 시기 쇼스 까만도 신기 내오니 그런데 뭐 이제 때문에 뭐가 아니네 신기 내 깔았다가 가서 신화레스는 내뭐 가리 때문에 글로벌에서 내뭐 가리 때문에 가서 신화레스나 간다 된다데 그래서 세 세파 더 가야지 와 세파 더 가야다 he simple thought she was say no to beach it on it. She was a little one. She wanted a simple thought. What simple thought on it. Tapi she was Hajabel, shooting with that, whatever it was a group trigger chow, but trigger at the she's a publisher or trigger chow. But so was a name of that's what they don't know. That is a cute in the Penal about the shares in the moment of the water. That is all of it. She won't better up a day, but children said, this all has done a dome to she wants some to do to stay water, to water. So, because she wants something with some of what to money. She wants something. For Tanya, she wants some for Buduna. Go by the Terra. Globalization was the same how to do that. Go by the Japanese to what the Japanese you don't want to share the family over it. That's what this is sure.
And next one is the fault is non-application. So the antidote for non-application is intention to apply yourself. Intention to apply yourself or intentions of application. So when laxity and excitement arise, then we need to apply antidotes. So non-applications or not applying antidotes becomes a fault. So the antidotes to which is intention to apply yourself or intentions of application. So for example, when laxity arises, then we need to lift our mind. So when we draw our mind inward too much, then laxity arises. So in order to eliminate the laxity, then we need to uplift our mind, or we need to rouse our mind. So when we are able to eliminate the laxity, then we need to apply the antidotes, for example, uplifting our mind, rousing our mind, and etc. So however, when laxity becomes very coarse, so very coarse also means that when it becomes very strong, that we are unable to eliminate it, then at that point of time, only then we pause the meditations. So it doesn't mean that whenever laxity arises, then you need to pause your meditations. So only when you're unable to eliminate laxity, then you pause the meditations. So similarly, and when excitement arises, then we need to draw our mind in. So because due to excitement, that is part of attachment. So if a case or it runs after beautiful objects or active objects, so at that point of time, to stop excitement, then we need to draw our mind in.
Oh, this is what. That was all. She did the she showed that neighbor, the shape I said, but what? She didn't know this or that. There are a couple of people. She wanted a punk to new book near the global and the global and you book near about the did all the temple of the door. Was a she didn't know. Which was a she didn't know the little more. She got it. They got that. Globally by now, global was also. But you couple of global Birwa, Susu, Bonjibicala, Session Bolas about Triad, Session Bolas about Triad, so that never concluded. In Session Bottom say in Vera, to go to the Kalash, which by that day, what did you do it? That day, Maniba, not so. It's not was a shame that we are your Katarwa, not so. Murowangi, Jiwangi. Yeah, say it or your. So give back a Maridiashi in the patching each other. So that's so on the Domaina. So on the Domaina. So in the more. Undo the Vina. Don't live by now. Shabagoya, the name of Shabagoya. My J, the opposite, the name of my saver. My Jesus was a state for the white Surwa. What then? I can't. Messas was a message with you are. Oh, that's a man. That's good to was somebody. The two want to be in water. Actually, I am a Yorwa. It's okay. You your marriage. You did one chicken that nobody is what I hear. Chili go back Shagurwa. She got to was new chinking, but Yorwa. So on the Yorwa. Where did she? That is so of the category was to name what this entire room.
Yeah, so here the non-applications when laxity or excitement arises, and if you do not apply the antidotes to eliminate them, any of them, then it becomes a fault. So you need to apply the antidotes, which is intention to apply yourself or intentions of application to eliminate non-applications. So it doesn't mean, even though laxity and excitement are grouped together and combined as one and are combined as one fault, it doesn't mean that laxity and excitement could arise at the same time. There is not possible, they do not arise at the same time. So when laxity or excitement arises, then you need to apply respective antidote to get rid of them. So excitement, when we talk about this excitement, when we do meditations, and if our mind, instead of staying on the intended object, and our mind is pulled or distracted to something other than the intended object, for example, delicious food, then it means that our mind has already distracted. Our mind has already distracted. So because our mind has already distracted to the delicious food, which is not the intended object. So there are many other obstacles to our concentration as well, not just laxity and excitement. So laxity and excitement are listed as the main obstacles because they arise, most of the time. Our concentration is affected by laxity or excitement. However, other than laxity and excitement, there are many other obstacles as well. For example, uh, distraction caused by anger, distraction caused by pride, for example. So they are obstacle to our concentration, but they are not the main one because they do not exist as often as laxity and excitement do. So, like for example, when our mind is distracted due to anger or hatred, then we need to apply the antidotes. For example, cultivating love, and cultivate love. So if our mind is distracted due to pride, then because pride is you think that you are superior to other, you are higher than the others. So in order to counteract distraction due to pride, then you need to uh, take a regard yourself lower than them. So you need to regard yourself lower than them as an antidote to eliminate pride.
我就是，那你把我把的话是一年过的加班的，那现在这是现在都是当牛过的，你去在了是吧？那当牛过的刚才新的这一，对啊，人特别搞不出，这刚才这是当牛过嘛都，这刚才他当牛过的刚才你们的些个，因为这你们的些个第一年不超是吧？你们第一年不超是吧？我第一年不是。
So the last fault is application. So application or applying antidotes when one is free from laxity and excitement. So applications or applying antidotes or effort becomes a fault. So in order to counteract application, the antidote is equanimity of placing the mind naturally. So you need to cultivate equanimity when you are when your concentration is free from laxity and excitement, and do not applying antidotes when you are free from laxity and excitement. So at the point of time, you need to cultivate equanimity.
我的我嘛，用的嘛那些对吧？那刚才顶是讲是的，那顶是讲是的刚才经济不景气嘛，另外了么回事呢？我反正这些个经济我是讲是大部分必须些个是吧？是吧？而且这个多的，那对你顶是讲的多一个是基本嘛的，我了我们路上也买的什么，也买的是，东岸你个了的不是什么，我了给把的那边呢就是举的。 是了，我说你没什么，是吧？我你对面这个看到，我你个人听我不认识，不讲话给没认识，是吧？不讲话给就没认识，那得去吧。
So this freeing of the single-pointed concentration of the mind from laxity and excitement by means of mindfulness and vigilance is common to all the instructions on how to practice. Therefore, you should not consider it a specific detail of the Lasanayana. So Laksanayana is also another word. It also refers to Mantrayana. Sorry, also referred to Sutrayana. So Laksanayana also referred to Sutrayana. So if you're not considering a specific detail of the Laksanayana, is unnecessary in mantra or Mantrayana. So because it is also taught in many highest yoga tantra.
我就是他等于给小人，他的节目的，他等于多出来的节目的话，那主要我这边开始对了是，那个训练过呀嘛，就光起来就光去前那些，对，还是这个我那个上次的，对训练的嘛就提前呢，就一个中大节目就光完了，对，反正的弄什么就辛苦的话，这些的就是特别有啥的就，这情况下没是上次有个那些人这个的话，我是看到，上你接了我说新年过的嘛，都。新年过的开全部休息的，当我说我的话，我爹妈从嘛要不我是，可是当不新年过的嘛，第六头人都嘛是吧？
Joy telling so you So I will stop here, and so sorry that we don't have much time left for question and answer. So regarding the request for guided meditations, as we learn about calm abiding, so my what I'm thinking is it would be better to finish the topic related to calm abiding, then only we do the guided meditations. So I think it will be more convenient in doing so, because when you have, so when I'll say when we do the guided meditations and the terms that we use in the guided meditations, you are after we have learned all about this, then you are familiar with those terms already. So when we do the guided meditation, it would be more convenient that way. So however, I'll say you can share with me your ideas if you think otherwise. So originally, I wanted to cover 9 mental abidings or 9 mental states, and however, because of time, then I will talk about this in coming class.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, Peter. That was a great one. The chicken body for the right one. The devil jumbo chubu to the thing from massage for the same thing on the people to see in the body. You're cutting love with getting on support with me on some way. If I reply, I think I'm written was into me. You penny. That's what just wish you knew it. That on the Monte Daniela, so I can't killing in the ditchy crystal. She did. That digit, that isn't one she never. That made you change you, but to be more that is a contact on my unit. Digit, but better ones. And you want your box on a pair. I don't much again. Okay, but I mentioned that which you cut to the front, some of the chain in the digit pieces of one, but the issue is a way she used to work.
So we conclude with dedication. We dedicate the roots of virtue accumulated, especially through this Dharma lesson, may be the complete cause for the Dharma to flourish and for all sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. We also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teaching, mainly His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to live eons long with excellent health conditions, and may all their holy wishes and enlightened activities be accomplished instantaneously and spread in all directions. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue, especially to our beloved teacher, endowed with great kindness, Lama Sopa Rinpoche. So may the holy wishes of Rinpoche be instantaneously fulfilled, and may the unmistaken reincarnations of Rinpoche be swiftly returned, and then continue to turn the wheel of Dharma for the sake of teachings and sentient beings, so that we will have the opportunity to receive the precious teachings from you again, Rinpoche. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to the world peace, and may excellent happiness prevail the world. May pandemic, wars, conflict, and disaster, and natural disaster, especially nowadays, there are many natural disasters due to wind, due to fire, due to water, and etc. that happens all around the world. So may these natural disaster be pacified immediately. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to all sentient beings, especially those who pass away, and especially those passing away, and especially those who are in the state of suffering, and those who help others, such as doctors, nurses, and those who help others financially. So may negativities and obscurations be pacified immediately, and may they quickly achieve the excellent happiness and the state of enlightenment. Sabe ke wa de ten nang zhuo wa kun la kan pe nang ke wa chi zun lo zang zha ba yi ten pe nin bo rin do se je shuo jiang zhu sen jiu rin bo jie ma ke pa nang ki ju ji yang ma me ba yang kun de kun do pe wa shuo jiang pe ba wei ji da kian ba nang kun do sang bo de yang pe xin de pe da pe jie su da lo jie di da da jie rang do mo tong yi da wa rin bo jie ma ke pa nang ki ju ji ke ba yang ma me ba yang kun de kun do pe wa shuo rin yi da rin bo jie ma ke pa nang ki ju ji ke wa yang ma me ba yang kun de kun do pe wa shuo yi jie song do ju be lang xie jie se zi gang jian dian ju gen cha na pe mo ten jing jiao zou la de zhuo xian de lun ruo shuo ke ka de ben de ma lu ba kan le ju wei sang bei yi xin no ka ting zu me ten jing jiao zou la所以说主线轮流说，也是你让做多上家话也是给把这让下新疆有毛病，对对，有没对对人做，特别对对人不接，对他特别直接被挖了，那样必须是被国家先准备集中老马说话的，面对军委国际部，因为等到马军的话，一对了几多政保这边工作不喜欢是的一类嘛，我那就算该做进了当给谁当给都给老不接，特别要做啥被准给上对这边对牛些说。你认为各位香港的本地的网好的就会呢，希望等整个作为下边世界报道，thank you。